A review of informatics during the 1918 influenza pandemic. At the turn of the 19th century, healthcare and informatics were changing. Advancements in bacteriology combined with sanitation practices led to an improved health and life expectancies, which dramatically increased the public perception of clinical medicine. More focus on individualized medicine came at the expense of community well-being. Thus, the world was caught unprepared by the influenza pandemic, which ultimately became the deadliest in history. The communication by and interventions of a public health department are the first line of protection against an outbreak of disease. Unfortunately, the initial reaction of public leaders was aimed at assuaging fears and calming the public, and lack of information contributed to making the flu a public health emergency. Once global leaders recognized the gravity of disease, health departments utilized the technology at hand to disperse information and education. This was largely done through newspaper leaflets and advertisements. Unlike the COVID-19 pandemic, the causative agent remained unknown, which prohibited effective treatment plans. Testing of any kind was unavailable. Today, apps for contact tracing produce fast information which greatly reduces transmission. Big data analysis was unavailable for monitoring geographic spread or virulence. Contact tracing and analysis of this scale was inconceivable in 1918. There was no virtual communication for information sharing of hospital occupancy, nor resource availability, and no way to provide virtual education. Perhaps most importantly, there was no possibility for teleconsultation. Interaction with a clinician had to be in person, and traveling to a facility increased exposures and spread of the virus. Today, like in 1918, health leaders are encouraging isolation, hand washing, and masking, with suspension of public gatherings and unnecessary travel. We are also using clinical technology such as infusions of convalescent plasma, which meta-analyses should reduce the risk of death. Both pandemics required collaboration between hospitals to set up specialized wards and continue to treat non-infected patients. When reflecting on the influenza pandemic of 1918, the communities that experienced success in preventing spread of disease seem to be related to geographic isolation, such as the mountain town of Gunnison, Colorado, as well as the protective sequestration of an island naval base. Further, informaticists should be conscientious that in an age of globalization, isolated outbreaks can quickly travel the world. Thus, pandemic preparedness must include assisting developing nations that do not have the infrastructure nor resources to battle a national health emergency.
Created using Powtoon.